Hello friends, welcome to the Ecology Universes. If you want to evaluate an Excel professional, the first and foremost important step in your Excel journey is to explore Excel worksheet. By exploring Excel worksheet, you can understand the basic architecture of an Excel worksheet. Not only understanding the basic architecture, you can also understand the implementation strategy of the programs in Excel. That is very important. For all this, I take maximum 15 minutes time and all that. Not only explaining the concept, I will introduce a few tools and tricks to master this concept. Here always I talk about mastery matters, not just for learning for college exams or something else. You may get a doubt why this concept is the most important one in Excel study. Logically, if you want to evolve as a professional player and all that, the first step is you must be well versed with the playground. This is like an Excel playground. If you want to evolve as an Excel professional and all that, the first and foremost important step is exploring Excel worksheet. Logically, when you visit a grocery shop and all that, you can explore it very easily with the naked eyes. But when you visit a big superbazaar and all that, you should have a clear plan and approach to explore it. This Excel worksheet is nothing but like a big supermarket. That point is how to understand. Exploring Excel worksheet is not a simple task. It is a great challenge before you. Why? Excel worksheet contains hundreds of elements, namely a ribbon, tabs, groups, buttons, tools, a grid, rows, columns, cells, ranges, formula bar, name box, etc. and all that. These are labels for a group of elements. Ultimately, you see there are hundreds of elements and all that. So how can we learn? There is no room for by hearting. So we have a strategy, a simple technique, divide and rule. So we have to divide all these elements into groups depending on their integrity and all that. Then we have to learn in a phased manner. That's the only thing. In this session, I am going to explain all these strategies and all that. At the end of this, you enrich your confidence to deal with an Excel worksheet. Before exploring an Excel worksheet to know about its basic elements, first we have to understand its size and capacity. That is very important. You cannot even imagine the size of that. Excel worksheet is having a gigantic style that I am going to explain. Okay, mainly Excel worksheet is divided into two components or two parts. The first part is called ribbon. In the ribbon, all the commands, hundreds of commands are there. A little later, I will explain. And other part is grid. It is divided into columns. These are the columns, and these are the rows. Horizontal things are rows, vertical things are columns. And columns are indexed by A, B, C, D, E, F, etc. and all that. Capital letters. Always we find the capital letters. And as far as rows are concerned, they are indexed by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. and all that. Okay, these are columns, these are rows. Where it intersects is called cell. Cell. This cell, every cell is having a reference. Reference means nothing but address. So, what is the cell reference? A1. What is the cell reference? C3. What is the cell reference? E5. What is the cell reference? B4. In that way, every cell is having a reference. In that only, we store value. Value means it may be a number and it may be a text also. That may be it may be your name, or it may be your age, or it may be your height. That point you have to understand. Now the question is, in a single worksheet, how many columns are there, how many rows are there, and how many cells are there? That you have to, just a basic information. Okay. Now, here these are the approximate round figures. You can easily remember. So, you need not know the exact values and all that. Actually, a single worksheet consists of 16,000 columns, and 10 lakhs, 1 million rows. These are 1 million rows. So, how many cells are there? There are 17 billion cells are there. Just you remember that. Somebody asked, you can tell. Just approximately 16,000 columns, 1 million rows, and 17 billion cells are there. Now, with an example, let us understand its capacity. Actually, the city, Bangalore, population is 1.14 million. 1 crore 40 lakhs population. You want to store the data relating to all citizens of Bangalore in a Excel worksheet. Let us say for each citizen you have to store 10 plus data items. Okay, no worry. In a single Excel worksheet, you can store the data relating to every citizen of Bangalore. So by that you can understand how much big we cannot even imagine. 17 billion cells are there. That's just for information. Whenever actually if you want to become professional, you should know everything. Like a college student, you never feel something is important, something is unimportant and all that. You must know everything. After understanding the size and the capacity of a worksheet, now let us focus on the structure and basic elements. If you take any worksheet, mainly it is divided into two components. The top component, which is red bordered, is called a ribbon, and main component is grid. In the ribbon, hundreds of commands relating to Excel are stored, and grid is the actual workplace. There we store our data, or we write our program, manipulate and get result and all that. This is the basic structure. Okay, one is ribbon, that is the top part, and the grid is the actual workplace. Okay, now let us see. Let us focus on the commands. If you see that on the top, you can find like this and all that. These are 9 numbers. These are called tabs. Tabs. There. Just one tip I am going to give you. Just have a look and move to another page. Just 2 or 3 times you read it. If possible, write it. Once for all these elements are registered in your brain. You need not by heart. Don't by heart it. Just remember that. You create a memory hook. That's called memory hook. Okay. Now, here you can find 9 tabs. They are File, Home, Insert, Page Layout, Formulas, Data, Review, View, and Help. 2-3 times in this way repeat. Then thereafter just to write it. All this matter 5 minutes time. But once you do that, you can create a memory hooks and all that. Every time you need not waste your future time for setting. That point always you remember. The tabs are very core part of the commands. 9 tabs are there. Now, here, thereafter, if you see the first one, file. File is a special one. It is generic. Means there are 9 tabs are there. 8 are specific, customized. But as far as file is concerned, for whatever program you develop, whatever project you develop, for everything, you must use this tab. Why? Actually, in order to create a file and all that, a set of commands are there. You can use all those commands. If you see that in that file, new, open, save as, insert, etc. commands are there. Actually, in the next video, I am going to explain about that. Actually, if you are already familiar with files, folders and all that, I recommend you just watch it. Learn everything formally. Otherwise, you skip it. It is optional. If you are a beginner, you 100% focus on that. You should master. And after understanding this only, you create your first file. One thing I want to advise you, many things you know, but only thing is whenever somebody asks, you may not explain. That's why if you watch my lecture, you can get a capability. You will be empowered to explain to others in a formal way. Formal knowledge is very much important. Actually, if we ask some question and somebody throws some words and all that, it is not that systematically A, B, C, D, like that you have to explain. If you don't speak, we cannot speak, nobody will recognize. That's why if you already know about files and folders also, next concept, that is Excel file management, I am going to explain. You watch it, but it is optional. For a beginner, it is a mandatory thing. Okay. Now file. Thereafter, 8 are there. 8 tabs are there. Home, Insert, Page Layout, Formulas, Data, Review, View, and Help. Okay. Next, actually, now the second one we are taking. What is the second one? Second tab is Home. Home. Actually, for every tab means except file, 8 unique ribbons are there. Suppose if you click on that, one home oriented ribbon is open. If you next command, if you insert, then a separate ribbon, unique ribbon is open. So what you have to understand, for 8 tabs, 8 unique ribbons are there. Each ribbon, a set of comments are there. Those are called groups. So now we talk about home tab. By this you can understand same structure. This is home. Here, how many groups are there? Actually, there are tons of commands. If tons of commands are simply put in all that, nobody can remember. That's why, depending on the functionalities, they should be grouped. They should be grouped. Here, 8 groups are there. Just one time, have a look. As I told you, 2-3 times you read. Thereafter, if you want, you write. Those are clipboard, font, alignment, number, styles, cells, editing, adds in. So, in home under home tab, one unique ribbon is there. In that, a group is there. That group consists of 8 commands. That one you have to understand. Thereafter, one more we see font. Font, if you see one of the commands in the group, if you see again, font is having 8 buttons. 8 buttons. What they are? Font name, font size, bold, italic, underline, borders, fill colors, font colors. See that. By this you can have a picture. Actually, here 9 tabs are there, and one of the tabs 8 groups are there. One of that 8 buttons are there. Like this, you can imagine that it is like a big banyan tree and all. So for that only I am telling you, you should explore it thoroughly and you focus some time to have a basic idea of the architecture of an Excel worksheet. That point you have to understand. Now, one of the buttons we take. One of the buttons. What is the button? And that is borders. If you see borders and all that, borders, then there are 15 types of borders. Upper border, lower border, around border, thick border, etc. and all, no border, etc. and all that. So, what I advise you, just don't take all, then you will become mad. Only take one tab, that is home tab you take. And after taking the home tab and all that, you take one group, that is a font group. In the font group, again open, certain buttons are there. In 8 buttons, one of the buttons, border you open. By that, how to study, you can understand. That is very, very important. So far, I have demonstrated the home tab and the allied groups, buttons, options, etc. and all that. Similar way, the next one, third one is the insert. Insert is one of the tabs. In that, under that, a group is there. That also you see, 9 items are there and all that. So the structure of every tab is same. That means what you have to understand, except 5. Remaining all 8 tabs, 8 unique ribbons are there. Unique ribbons are there. Each unique ribbon is having a group of items around 8 or 9 and all that. It depends. And thereafter, those are divided into buttons and those are divided into options and all that. This is the best structure. You should have a clarity about that. What are the items in that? What is their functionalities and all that? You learn later. That is program oriented. Now first understand the basic structure. Actually, all of you here, I have to share a tiny secret with you. Actually, when you visited a big, massive super bazaar for the first time, what is your clear plan? How you can access items and all that? If you go to a super bazaar, how the elements are there in that? Actually, there are thousands of items in that. Thousands of items are in that. If you categorize them and all that, those are hundreds of categories and all that, less than 100 of categories and all that. Under each category, certain brands are there. Under each brand, certain categories are there. And each item, certain sizes are there. That is the structure. That I need not explain. All of you know that. So, your brain knows how to access, how to find out a certain item, where the vegetables are there, where the pulses are there, where the oils are there, where the cosmetics are there. All that you have a plan. Your brain knows that. So, in the similar fashion, this is Excel worksheet is also like a supermarket. But this is your career. That's why you have to have a clear strategy. In Super Bazaar, you may waste some time, or otherwise you ask somebody. Here, you should have hands-on experience. You should not waste your future time. So here, you spend more time. you can save hundreds of times of such time in future while doing programs. Now, I'm showing you a different type of classification based on the functionalities. Here, just have a look. Here, I made 8 groups, namely basic structure, user interface elements and all, data organization, formatting and styling, formulas and functions, data management tools, charts and visualization, automation and advanced features. This is a different classification. However, one or two classifications, if you understand and all that, everything contributes in a different fashion. That point you have to understand. So far, I have introduced tens of basic elements in Excel worksheet in this video. In order to enable you to have a better understanding over that, I am presenting whatever elements so far I explained in a tabular format. By seeing this table, you can crystallize your knowledge, whatever so far you learned and all that. Here, my objective is very, very clear and straightforward. As early as possible, you must learn and master each and every concept equally. There is no important, no unimportant. All are equally important. That point you have to understand. Now, let us recap whatever so far we learned and all that. In a Excel worksheet, the top ribbon is there. In the ribbon, 9 tabs are there and all that. 9 tabs. Actually, out of the 9 tabs, first tab, file, that is different. It is applicable for all Excel programs and projects. All file-oriented commands are there in that and all. And in the second ETT2, we are going to learn about that. Okay. So, how many tabs are relevant for us? 8 tabs are relevant and all. And each tab is having tens of functionalities and all that. In order to handle them properly and all the functionalities are classified into groups. So, if you take the home tab, it is classified into 8 groups. In each group, the corresponding and a set of functionalities are stored. That point you have to understand. Thereafter, any group you take, they provide certain commands relevant to that. Now, let us take an example of second one, font. Font group we take, it provides the 6 commands. 6 commands. This is the structure. If you take any other tab like insert, page layout, formula, anything, they have their unique ribbon. In that, they have their unique groups of functionalities, and for each group, unique set of commands. That point you have to understand and all that. And one more thing, one tip I am going to give you. Whenever you want to work on Excel, just take one group and explore that. You need not by heart anything. Just if you have a look, if you want, do the restudying, they create a memory hook to you and all that. It's a very good habit and all. By that way only, ultimately you will be evaluated as a professional. That point you have to understand. Now, let us consider the font group. In the font group, 6 commands are there. Here, I have to introduce 3 new terms: button, drop down button, and split drop down button. In this context, one very important thing I have to tell you. Whenever you are using a technical term, if you know that you use it, otherwise keep quiet. If you wrongly use a technical term and all that, you are undermined. People treat you low. That point you have to understand. That's why whenever a technical term you want to use and all that, you get the clear meaning and purpose of that. And that's why I'm telling you, whenever I am introducing new terms and all that, don't postpone. Then and there you learn and own it. Okay. Now 3 terms are there: button, drop down button, split drop down button. Actually, these are buttons only. The modality is different. Now you can see that. Button, it performs a single command. Suppose you want to convert text into bold, B, you press, that is called a dark bold also, italic or underline. Just you press it, and that is called button. One button is pressed and one action is performed. Second one is drop down button. Drop down button means, like a best example is font name and font size. Font names is in your computer, dozens of fonts, tens of fonts are there and all that. A list, once you click on that, a big list is open. Out of that, whatever font you want, you can select. Like Times New Roman, you can select. Otherwise, Rockwell, you can select. So, out of the menu, you select one, whatever you want and all that. That is called drop down button. Menu is there. Out of the menu, you select one. Third one is split drop down button. Split drop down button means font color. Actually, font color and all that, distinct colors are there and all that, one tabular form with the different shades and all that are displayed. You can choose one. You can choose one out of them. But whatever color is you choose and all that, it is retained. Next time, if you want to use the same color and all that, again you need not open that. Actually, small mark is there. Whatever color you already used, if you click on that, the same color is applied for the next operation also. That is quick drop down button. Actually, through a real life analogy I explain, you better understand, you can explain it to others very easily. First one is button. A roadside vendor is selling some sandwiches. Just you pay and take sandwich. Pay and take sandwich. Only one item is selling, you pay and take it. That is like a button. Second one is a drop down button. You go to a hotel, then they provide a menu of around 20-30 items and all that. Out of that, one item you choose. That is like a drop down button. Thereafter, split drop down button. Some people offer combo meal. Combo meal means actually initially they serve something, and thereafter you can choose your preferences and all that. According to your preferences and all that, they serve. That is called split drop down button. So in this manner, once again, one more tip I am giving, as far as possible, whenever a technical concept is to be explained, then you try to get an example or analogy. Throughout my lecture, not only Excel and all that, it may be C, Python, Java or anything, for every concept, I give you a real life example. By that, you can own the concept very easily. Not only owning the concept, if you own, you can explain it to others very easily, and that is very, very important. Now finally, all the things I explained in the table, you go through the table, and once again I am telling you, all this material, all the whatever I explained and all that, we are providing you a ebook and all, and you can download it from the description box. And all of you, I request you to subscribe this channel. By subscribing this channel, continuously your knowledge is enriched. Not only in Excel, I am going to provide you several things, C, Python, Java, etc. and all that. Finally, I want to tell you a generic fact which is applicable to you. Driving a car or writing a code, both demand one thing, doing. Actually, by seeing car driving, you cannot learn, only hands-on. The same way, if you have to write programs and all that, simply by reading or watching videos and all that, you get something. But in order to develop programs and all that, hands-on, you should do that. Then only you can learn and master programming. Wish you all the best.